Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in the life of every individual, a moment where you can feel it deep within you, that the time to step into greatness has arrived. It is a moment where possibilities, once distant and dreamlike, suddenly draw near, and the distant echo of success becomes unmistakably clear. I stand before you today, not to promise you riches, but to remind you of an eternal truth. Your time has come, and you will have millions, and you will have millions. Now, before you rush to imagine piles of gold and endless luxuries, let me clarify. The millions I speak of are not necessarily the currency that fills your pockets. No, they are the treasures of the mind, the riches of experience, and the wealth that emerges from a life well lived. But the journey to that wealth is often misunderstood. We live in a world that loves instant results, a world that promises that success is a mere click away, that fortune comes easily to those who are lucky. But if you look closer, you will find that true success is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of years of small decisions, each one leading to the next, each one compounding upon the last. It is in these choices that your future is crafted. You see, every day you are shaping the person you will become. Every decision you make, whether to rise early, to learn something new, to help another, or to persist in the face of setbacks, each of these is laying the foundation of your personal empire. The path to greatness is not always clear. In fact, it is often obscured by obstacles, doubt, and the very human temptation to give up when things get hard. But remember this, adversity, though uncomfortable, is the very soil in which your success will grow. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to develop resilience, to learn new lessons, and to refine your character. You may not see it now, but every step taken in the face of hardship is a step toward your million-dollar future. To embrace this journey, you must understand that it is not the end goal that defines you, but the person you become in pursuit of that goal. It is not merely about accumulating wealth or fame, it is about becoming the best version of yourself. About using your talents and time in a way that elevates not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. This process of becoming requires you to embrace growth, and growth requires change. But change is not something that happens without discomfort. It is a natural law of life that progress, real progress, often requires sacrifice and the courage to leave behind what is comfortable. But remember, when you embrace change, when you commit to evolving into the person you are meant to be, you unlock the very doors to your future success. The riches you will receive in the end will not simply be the product of your work, but the product of your character. The millions will come not in a single moment of luck, but as a reward for your continued efforts, your unwavering commitment, and your refusal to give up on yourself. You may not see them now, but trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the abundant life that awaits. The power of choice and action. The ability to shape your future lies not in waiting for the right moment, but in the choices you make today. Every single action, no matter how small, has the potential to influence the course of your life. Many people mistakenly believe that opportunities will present themselves only when they are ready, or when circumstances are perfect. But the truth is that the very act of making a choice, of committing to a course of action, is what determines your readiness and creates the circumstances for growth. Life, in many ways, is a reflection of the decisions you make. It's not about waiting for things to align perfectly. It's about taking what you have and using it to move forward. Every choice you make is like a stepping stone, setting the direction for the future. These steps may seem insignificant at first, but their cumulative effect is profound. The power of choice lies in its ability to carve out a path, even in the absence of clarity about where that path will lead. You don't need to know every twist and turn of your journey in advance. All you need to do is take that first step with confidence, and the next one will reveal itself. Most people often stand at the crossroads of indecision, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. But to remain inactive is to allow life to pass by without taking any meaningful action toward what you want to achieve. The fear of failure or of making a mistake is a natural human condition, but it is also one of the greatest barriers to personal growth and success. There is no perfect path, no foolproof decision, but it is the act of choosing, of committing, that will always push you closer to your potential. When you choose a course of action, you declare to the world and to yourself that you are committed to something. It is no longer about being tossed around by the whims of fate or the opinions of others. It is about taking responsibility for your own journey and acknowledging that the power to change your life resides within you. Every choice, whether it's something as simple as choosing to wake up early or as significant as deciding to pursue a new career, carries weight. It sets the direction, it shapes the outcomes, and it creates momentum that can carry you forward even when obstacles arise. One of the most powerful elements of choice is that it forces you to take ownership of your destiny. It's easy to get caught in the trap of blaming external circumstances for where you find yourself in life. You might look at others who seem to have more opportunities or fewer challenges and wonder why things seem harder for you. But the truth is, every individual, regardless of their background or current situation, has the power to make choices that can transform their future. The circumstances you find yourself in today are not as important as the choices you make in the present moment. By choosing to take action, to learn, to grow, you change the trajectory of your life, even if you can't see the destination clearly yet. The more you make conscious decisions, the more your life begins to align with your true values and purpose. When you are deliberate in your choices, you are less likely to waste time on things that don't serve your goals or values. As you move forward, these decisions begin to add up, and over time they create a clearer sense of who you are, what you stand for, and what you are capable of achieving. Your choices serve as a guidepost, not just in practical terms, but in shaping your identity and your character. The life you envision, the success you crave, begins with a single choice. Sometimes it's choosing to believe in yourself. Other times it's choosing to take a risk, or simply choosing to begin. It is important to note that choices aren't always easy. They often require you to step outside your comfort zone, challenge the status quo, and take risks. The comfort of staying where you are can be alluring, especially when the future feels uncertain. But it is in those moments of discomfort and uncertainty that growth happens. Every great achievement begins with a moment of choice, a decision to leap into the unknown, to take a step towards something greater. Whether it's pursuing a passion, starting a new project, or confronting personal fears, every courageous choice made is an investment in your future. As you make choices and act on them, you also begin to learn and grow in ways you never imagined. You will inevitably make mistakes, but those mistakes are simply stepping stones on the path to wisdom and success. In fact, some of your greatest successes may arise from the lessons learned through failure. The key is to remain committed to moving forward, regardless of the setbacks or the perceived obstacles. Each time you choose to continue, you build resilience and develop the skill to navigate challenges with greater ease. The power of choice, therefore, lies not in the action itself, but in the attitude with which you approach it. When you decide to act, you take control of your own narrative. You stop waiting for life to happen to you, and instead, you become the architect of your own destiny. You realize that your future is not dictated by external forces, but by the power you have to choose, to act, and to persist. When you look back at your life, it won't be the large, sweeping moments of change that stand out as much as the small, consistent decisions you made along the way. These decisions, over time, will accumulate into the life you ultimately lead. A life shaped by your choices and driven by your actions. Embracing change and growth. Growth is not a linear path. It is a journey that constantly shifts and evolves, and it often demands that we step outside of our comfort zones. One of the most vital truths to understand on the road to success is that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The discomfort that comes with change is often the very catalyst for personal transformation, and it is through these moments of discomfort that you find your true potential. The willingness to change, to adapt, and to evolve is what sets apart those who achieve greatness from those who remain stagnant in their current circumstances. Change can be unsettling, especially when it comes at a time when things appear to be going well. However, growth cannot occur without it. If you want to expand your horizons, achieve more than what is currently in your grasp, and push the limits of your potential, you must learn to see change not as a disruption, but as an opportunity for expansion. It is often in the unknown, in what feels unfamiliar or even uncomfortable, that you discover the power to redefine your limits and to move beyond them. Success does not thrive in the place where things remain unchanged and predictable. It thrives in the spaces where new challenges are faced, where resilience is tested, and where you can rise to meet your highest potential. The process of growth often requires sacrifice. There is a natural tension between where you are and where you want to go. This tension comes from the need to leave behind old habits, familiar environments, or even relationships that no longer serve your evolving purpose. It is tempting to hold on to the familiar, to stay in a place where you feel safe and secure. But security is often the enemy of progress. True growth requires that you let go of what is comfortable, and this process can be painful. It is, however, a necessary step in your evolution. When you let go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you, you make room for new perspectives, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. You create the space for personal reinvention, for shaping your identity in ways that align with the goals and aspirations you hold. Another significant aspect of embracing change is accepting that growth is not always immediate. The results of your efforts often take time to materialize. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of growth because it demands patience and persistence. When you set out on a new path, the changes you are making might not be immediately visible. You may encounter setbacks or moments where progress seems slow. In these moments, it is essential to stay committed to the process of change, even when the results are not immediately apparent. Just because you do not see the fruits of your labor right away does not mean they are not growing beneath the surface. Growth is like the process of a seed sprouting, initially invisible, but essential for the eventual bloom. You must trust that your efforts are building a foundation for something far greater than what you can currently see. Equally important is the understanding that growth is not about perfection. it is about progress. Many people become discouraged when they do not achieve their ideal results quickly, or when they encounter obstacles that feel insurmountable. But the path to growth is rarely smooth. It is filled with failures, mistakes, and moments of self-doubt. The key is not to avoid these moments, but to learn from them. Every misstep is an opportunity to adjust, to refine, and to improve. The mistakes you make are not marks of failure. They are part of the process of growth. It is only through navigating the ups and downs, through the trials and tribulations, that you develop the resilience and wisdom necessary for long-term success. Another fundamental aspect of embracing change is the realization that growth is not something that happens in isolation. It is deeply intertwined with the people around you. As you evolve, your relationships, networks, and connections will also be influenced by your growth. Some relationships may deepen, others may fade, and some may need to be redefined. Surrounding yourself with individuals who encourage your growth, challenge your thinking, and support your goals is crucial. The right people will inspire you to reach higher and push further than you could on your own. Growth is a communal effort, and it is often the people who walk alongside you, offering support and wisdom, who help you navigate the complexities of change. Growth requires a mindset that views challenges as learning opportunities. In times of difficulty, it is easy to focus solely on the obstacles in front of you, to feel discouraged by the hurdles that seem insurmountable. But the greatest lessons are often found in the hardest moments. Challenges force you to dig deeper, to tap into resources you didn't know you had, and to develop new skills. They push you to think creatively, to find solutions, and to persist in the face of adversity. When you view challenges not as setbacks but as opportunities to learn and evolve, you reframe your entire approach to growth. Instead of being discouraged by difficulties, you begin to see them as essential parts of your journey, necessary for your personal development and for the fulfillment of your larger goals. It's essential to remember that the path to growth is not a race. It is a journey. Some people may seem to achieve their goals more quickly, but that does not mean your journey is any less valuable. Each person's path is unique, and your timing will not mirror someone else's. The key is to stay focused on your own progress and to trust the process of change. Growth is not about competing with others. It's about constantly evolving, learning, and improving yourself. In embracing change, you also embrace the opportunity to continuously redefine who you are. As you grow, you shed old layers of doubt, fear, and limitation. You become someone new, someone more capable, more resilient, and more aware of your own potential. Change, in its most powerful form, is a process of becoming the person you were always meant to be, the person capable of achieving your wildest dreams. The ability to embrace change and growth is what separates those who stagnate from those who soar. It is through change that you unlock your fullest potential and move toward the realization of your true self. The unseen path to abundance. Success, wealth, and achievement are often seen as products of visible, tangible actions, big decisions, bold moves, or significant moments of luck. Yet the truth is that the path to true abundance is often paved with invisible efforts and unseen struggles. The abundance that you seek in life, whether in terms of personal fulfillment, wealth, relationships, or happiness, does not simply appear out of nowhere. It is the result of countless small, unseen moments of dedication, persistence, and effort that compound over time. These moments, though unnoticed by others, and even by yourself in some cases, are the true building blocks of lasting success. When people look at successful individuals, they tend to focus on the external markers of success, the accolades, the wealth, the recognition. What is often overlooked are the countless unseen actions that precede these external achievements. The hours spent working quietly in the background, the challenges faced without any fanfare, the sacrifices made in order to push forward when no one is watching. These are the elements that make up the true foundation of abundance. If you are looking only at what is visible, you will miss the deeper, more important work that is happening beneath the surface. The journey to abundance is not simply about the final destination, but about the ongoing effort, the quiet persistence, and the steady commitment that leads you there. One of the most significant factors that contribute to the unseen path to abundance is the principle of consistency. Many people become discouraged when they don't see immediate results from their hard work. They assume that because they aren't seeing tangible outcomes right away, their efforts are in vain. This is a misunderstanding of how true abundance is created. Consistency is key to long-term success. It is not the grand gestures or singular efforts that accumulate into greatness. It is the small, consistent actions performed day after day, even when the results are not yet visible. Whether it's working on a project, learning a new skill, or improving oneself, it is the consistent effort that makes all the difference. The results may not be immediate, but over time they compound, and the unseen work you've done will eventually lead to visible success. The unseen path to abundance also requires you to embrace the inevitable struggles that come with any meaningful pursuit. No journey is free from obstacles or setbacks. The path to success is often fraught with difficulties that are not apparent to the outside world. You may face failures, rejections, and moments of doubt. These moments, while difficult, are crucial to your development and growth. They are the tests that challenge your resolve and push you to dig deeper into your own potential. It is in these unseen struggles that you build the character, resilience, and strength that will carry you through to your eventual success. The key is to recognize that these struggles are not signs of failure, but are simply part of the process of becoming successful. Every challenge you face strengthens your ability to overcome future obstacles and enhances your capacity to handle greater levels of success when they arrive. The unseen path to abundance is deeply connected to personal growth and self-awareness. As you progress on your journey, the most significant changes often happen within. You may not always notice how you are evolving, but the work you do internally, the development of your mindset, the expansion of your knowledge, and the growth of your character is essential to achieving true abundance. The more you invest in yourself, the more you are able to show up as a better version of yourself in all aspects of your life. You will find that as you grow internally, external opportunities begin to align with your readiness, and your ability to take advantage of them increases. Patience is another critical component of the unseen path to abundance. It is easy to become frustrated when success does not arrive on your timeline, but true abundance takes time to build. In today's world, we are often conditioned to expect instant gratification, immediate results for our efforts. However, real, lasting success rarely happens overnight. It is the slow and steady accumulation of effort, wisdom, and perseverance that leads to true abundance. Just as a tree takes years to grow strong and tall, so too does success. It is in the waiting, in the quiet moments where nothing seems to be happening, that the foundation for future greatness is laid. Patience is not just about waiting for things to happen. It's about trusting the process and continuing to move forward even when the end result is not yet in sight. The role of faith also plays a crucial part in the unseen path to abundance. Faith is not necessarily about religious belief. It is about having trust in the process and in your own ability to succeed. Faith allows you to continue moving forward, even when things aren't going as planned or when the results aren't immediately apparent. It is the belief that the work you are doing today will eventually yield fruit, even if you cannot yet see it. Faith allows you to remain steadfast, to keep taking action even when it feels like nothing is happening. Without this trust, it is easy to become discouraged and give up before the rewards are fully realized. The unseen path to abundance is influenced by the connections you build along the way. Success is not solely an individual endeavor. The people you meet, the relationships you nurture, and the communities you engage with all contribute to your growth and success. Some of these connections will be visible to others, but many will be quiet, behind-the-scenes interactions that support you in ways you may not fully understand at the time. These unseen relationships, whether they are mentors, friends, or colleagues, play a vital role in your journey to abundance. They provide guidance, support, and opportunities that are not immediately apparent to the outside world. The unseen path to abundance is about embracing the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. Too many people fixate on the destination, on the moment when success finally arrives. But success is not a singular event. It is a journey. The most abundant lives are those that are fully lived in the process of becoming, in the learning, growing, and evolving that happens along the way. The true measure of success is not found in the destination, but in the richness of the journey itself. Abundance, therefore, is not just about visible achievements, but about the unseen efforts, the quiet persistence, and the internal growth that support them. It is the invisible work, the consistent actions, the internal development, and the patience through struggles that ultimately leads to the wealth, success, and fulfillment you desire.